Hey guys, Stephen Bogran here, Pro Physique. Today what I want to talk about is timing. Fuck. I have a watch. So hey everybody, hope you're having a great day. Let's see if we can get this whole timing thing situated. So, new year, new me, who this, who that. I don't know. But one of the biggest determinants, one of the biggest reasons why we hear people say they cannot make time for the gym is time. We have too many other things going on in life, whether it's work, personal life, social life, kids, dogs, whatever it might be. Time is the hard part, right? Time is what we can't find enough of. And whereas it is very true that we have a limited amount of hours in each day, there are definitely some things that we can do to help with time, right? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about time. Now, the easiest thing I think to be able to help us with time and time management is taking a time inventory, right? This is something that we did back in undergraduate of college, right? Sort of taking the, and the funny part is that doing this time inventory, right? It actually takes more time. Time, fuck. But the nice thing that it does is it really shows you how much time you're spending and what you're spending it on each day, right? So say we sit down at the end of the night. We look at our time inventory. We woke up at 6 a.m., made breakfast, left the house at 6:45, got to work at 7:30, right? Sat around work for half an hour, sort of mentally prepared, nothing wrong with that. Sometimes it's a good idea, by the way, to actually mentally prepare yourself for the day ahead. Take a little bit of time out. But then we worked from, 8 to 4, right? 8 to 4 p.m. Get home around 5 p.m. So there's not really much we have in control over there right now. 5 p.m. on. Now we know this is where our money is made. And so this is where we get to see, what are we doing with the time that we have available. We can't do anything about work, right? We can't do anything about drive time to work and traveling time, those sort of things. There's not much we have to do about that. Now we're going to have to eat, we're going to have some time for that. Probably going to need to shower and do that stuff too. But now we can look at our time inventory and our time log. So it might be a little bit more time efficient to actually say, okay, I know that these hours are non-fucking negotiables. They're not changing. It doesn't matter what I do. I'm not changing these. Just like when you get home, you might want to spend a half an hour with your kids and your family. That's a non-negotiable. Figuring out the things that are non-negotiables are your first and foremost, right? But say maybe at the end of the day every day, you're spending 2 hours watching TV, like unwinding, right? That's 2 hours of time that we would have otherwise, right? We could do something productive with that time if we really wanted to prioritize it and decide that it was. Those are the kind of activities we want to look at, right? The activities of how much time am I actually spending in between things doing nothing? How much time is it taking me to pay bills or to food prep or to cook? Like say, if I spend 2 hours cooking on the weekend to food prep food for the week versus I spend 45 minutes each night food prepping, which one is more time efficient? Which one gives us more free time in the week to work with? Right? So those are all the things that we want to start looking at. So the more that we actually log what we're doing, 15 minutes in bathroom, right? 20 minutes shower, 2.5 hours TV or book reading or whatever it might be that we do, knitting, crocheting. Maybe you like to crochet hats. I don't know, right? But when we look at those things, that's when it becomes a little bit easier for us to say, okay, what are the non-negotiables? What are the things I'm not giving up? I'm absolutely not giving up the time with my family and my kids. That's an important thing. We get that, right? And then looking at say, okay, so what are the negotiables? What are the things I can give up? And how much time per week do I have for those negotiables that I can sort of work with, right? If I find that I have an hour and a half a day of negotiables, maybe I don't have to give up all of my negotiables, but maybe 3 days a week, I say, I'm gonna take that hour and a half, I'm gonna go to the gym, and take me 15 minutes to get there, 15 minutes to get back. I'm gonna do about an hour of exercise, and I'm gonna come home. We just made progress. You're in the gym, you're doing something, you're making progress towards those goals. Now, at some point, is 3 days probably not gonna be enough? Yeah, but you can deal with that as it goes. And there's no guarantee that your priorities are ever going to change. 3 days a week might be enough for, we're happy, we're healthy, we're content, we're in decent shape, we're maintaining weight. That's perfect, right? There is no reason why anybody needs to work out 6 days a week. Now, if you're gonna be a physique athlete, a power lifter, bodybuilder, now we're just talking that need. If you want to be successful, that might change, right? However, if you're just trying to be healthy and happy and kind of fit and maintain weight, you don't need to work out 6 days a week. You can work out 3, right? That's fine. You can work out 4. That's fine, right? And then deciding, what kind of exercise do you want to do? Maybe 2 days a week we'll go to the gym. Maybe a couple days, another day of the week, you just do some cardio. So deciding kind of how you want to go about now dealing with that free time, right? So finding time is number 1, right? That's kind of, I have to understand where I'm at now to figure out where I want to go. That in and of itself is a hard thing to do because it means we have to be honest with ourselves. That's why the time log is nice. It's an objective measure of what we're doing, right? We either did or didn't spend 15 or 20 minutes on that thing. I didn't feel like I did. I either did or I didn't. And that's why it's a nice measure, and that's a nice thing to sort of get started with. Objectivity is number 1. The other part of this I want to talk about is timing. Now, time and timing, kind of different things, right? But timing is important as well. Now, if we look at the psychological model of change for exercise, right? There's pre-contemplation. We're not thinking about it. There's contemplation. We're thinking about it. There's preparedness. Okay, now we're like sort of prepping and getting ready to change. Then we go into the actuality of change, and then we go into maintenance, right? Which is where we've been doing it for a while and we're just doing it. And we can go back and forth and through those all kinds of times. But it's important to realize where we are in our time. Again, this is just being objective and honest with ourselves. And that's where everything starts. If you're in the pre-contemplation and you don't go fuck about it, why lie? Why waste your time and your money if it's not a priority and you don't care, right? We want to get from pre-contemplation to at least we're thinking about it, right? And if we're thinking about it, right, we're thinking about like, hey, I know this is like something I probably should do, something I want to do. That's an okay place to be. Like, think about it. That's fine. But we can't only think about it. At some point, we have to get to the point where maybe we do a little bit of research, we study, we try and look into some things that maybe look like they might interest us. We're not just jumping in. We're getting ourselves prepared because we want to set ourselves up for success, right? So understanding where we are in that process is very, very important because we want our timing to be good. Because just like anything else with life, the right thing at the wrong time is still the wrong thing. So not only do we want to make sure that we are doing the right things to be able to commit the time that is necessary to that, but we also want to make sure that mentally and emotionally, psychologically, we are ready for the timing of that change as well, right? And then remember, obviously, we want to make manageable changes. We want to take everything as it comes. We don't want to try to climb Everest day 1, right? So being smart about that, being objective about that, and a little bit of planning can be very, very helpful for us. So as the new year's progressing, it's January already. We're like halfway through, almost all the way through January. It's important that maybe we take a step back, we look at some of those things, and we try and give ourselves an objective idea of where we are and where we want to go. So that's it, guys. That's the timing and the time talk for today. And I'm out of time.